If you've ever been confused by Vx and Vy, which one's which and when do I use that one? Well, this video is for you. Hey everyone, Jason Shepard here, MzeroA.com, and in this video we're talking about some performance climbs. And before I get to that, please make sure you like and subscribe here on YouTube and Facebook. And don't just stop with loving this video, by the way. Don't forget about our entire online ground school as well, MzeroAtrial.com. Also, don't forget that this week we are giving away that My Go Flight kit. That awesome flight bag, same one I use, literally. Head over to MzeroAcontest.com for a chance to win that. I'm giving that away this Thursday, I believe. It's the 29th of June at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube and Facebook. You won't want to miss it. So check that out as well. There's a Facebook event if you need a reminder. So in this video, I want to cover best angle, best rate, cruise climb, high-speed cruise, long-range cruise. I want to cover all these definitions so they make sense for you. But first, before we do that, I need to share with you the factors that are going to affect this climb and even this cruise performance. There are things like weight, the weight of the aircraft. How close to maximum gross weight are you? Also, the air density, or better said, the density altitude. What are the three factors? Popular check ride question. Maybe let me know in the comments below that you know this. What are the three factors that affect density altitude? Like, what are the three things that would increase density altitude? Remember, an increase in density altitude is actually a decrease in performance. So think of that. Leave me a comment with that one below. What about wind? How is wind going to affect this performance? Then there's this temperature, which might have been one of the three that you probably mentioned in the comments down below. There's also the drag of our aircraft. Flaps, gear. What about the drag of the surface we're taking off of? You know there's an ice runway. That's on my list of things to do. I think it's in New Hampshire. Dirt runways, grass runways, all these things play a role in that equation. But let's start with our best angle of climb. Our best angle of climb is our Vx. How do I remember that? Well, the x in Vx, x makes an angle. So Vx is my best angle of climb. You see, it is the max excess thrust that results in the best angle of climb. And this actually occurs for my commercial pilots, I need to know this, below what's called the LD max for a propeller-driven aircraft. So reducing distance to climb out to the same altitude as Vy, but it reaches that altitude slower. It's our best angle of climb. We then have our best rate of climb, which is Vy. And Vy really maximizes the velocity to obtain the greatest gain in altitude over a given period of time. So Vy is what you normally use during your climb. In fact, if you're a private pilot going, I don't know either of these terms, your instructor's probably having you climb out at Vy so far, you don't even realize it. Vy is a little bit of a faster speed. Vy is normally used during climb, like after I've cleared all obstacles, along those lines. And it's actually the point where the largest power is available. And this occurs at the LD max for propeller-driven airplanes. It also allows more visibility over the cowling. And on top of that, too, our airplanes like it because it increases airflow over the engine. So while I'm at a high power setting, I'm helping to keep that engine nice and cool. And I like it because it provides an additional buffer, some space from those stall speeds as well. It takes more distance to reach the same altitude as Vx, but it reaches that altitude quicker. Does that make sense? What about a cruise climb? You heard people say, oh, I'm going to go at a cruise climb, or let's go back to a cruise climb. Well, this is now a gradual climb as fuel burns and the weight becomes less. It's normally faster than Vy. And you see in this case, the distance traveled is further and faster. This can be, though, sometimes difficult to obtain by ATC because they may want you just to crank through those altitudes as quickly as possible for traffic. So you might have to ask for a cruise climb. Hey, I'm only going to climb at 200-300 feet per minute. I want to get where I'm going, but I need to gain some altitude too. A cruise climb. There's also then what's called a high-speed cruise. This is cruising at the maximum indicated airspeed. This isn't taking into effect ground speed. This is the cruise at a maximum indicated airspeed. And this provides the quickest en route time. However, what's the downside of a high-speed cruise? You burn a ton of fuel, which brings me to the opposite of that, a long-range cruise. This is a cruise speed that's varied with altitude and weight because I'm shooting for max economy. My best fuel economy is what I'm really after. So thrust is typically reduced as weight decreases during the flight. So there's some neat definitions for you that they all apply to general aviation as well, whether you're flying a piston, a turboprop, or a jet. You're going to use all these terms here as well. Listen, don't forget MzeroAcontest.com. Go and also sign up for that. And don't forget, I'll see you towards the end of this week, June 29th, for the Secret to Perfect Landings live at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be talking about the ingredients that make a perfect landing, everything else, and how to just nail those crosswind lanes, those normal, short field, soft field, all of that as well. I look forward to seeing you all live this week. Have a blessed, abundant, outstanding rest of your day. And most importantly, remember that a good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you.